Sandeep, you've always been a hockey fan, and you have the greatest of respect for Sardar Singh. Why?
Well, we were dead. 2008 we didn't qualify, and not qualifying for the Olympics I think is the greatest sin in the world. Even though KPS Gilla said later after we didn't qualify that who cares about the Olympics. My point at the time was, well, nobody cares about Mr. Gill, but they definitely care about hockey. And later on, after a couple of years, you saw this player emerging. You know, in every country, whether it is Germany, Holland, Pakistan, for example, there is always one central player who always takes the team to the top. It was Shahbaz some 10 years back, 15 years back for Pakistan, took them to the world title. It was Christian Blunk in Germany. It was Theon de Neuer in Holland. All these guys were top guys. Sardar came at the right time. We were dying. The sport was finishing off. And he comes and he holds the sport and then he takes it up by his personal work ethic. What I really admire about Sardar is he's not one of those guys who trains for 1 hour. He trains for 6 hours. You look at him. You look at the work ethic he has on the field, the discipline he has on the field. He never gets a yellow card, he never gets a green card. If he gets a green or yellow, it is something that has happened not intentionally on the field. He's not an aggressive player. He's a skillful player. You watch him play, you're reminded of the old stars that India used to have. You know, the guys who used to play with guile, the guy who used to do a feint to the left and go to the right. That is what Sardar is built of. And that is why the world across, he's being admired now. In the last World Cup in Holland, people had queued up to watch an India game. I actually went and asked them, I said, why you want to watch an India game which is going to be for the 9th and 10th position? They said, we want to watch Sardar. Now, that is the criteria that goes for players at the top level. And if he can do it in 2016, kind of just take Indian hockey up till the semi-finals, I still feel it is a fantasy, it's a dream. But if he can do it, we can still bring back hockey to some kind of a glory level.
What's your favorite Sardar Singh moment? And I know you have had enough interactions with him in the past, so tell us something you haven't told anybody before.
It's something that happened in the last World Cup. I think we drew with Malaysia and his girlfriend had come in from London. Now he's from Sirsa, he's from Haryana. He's not used to this kind of, you know, dating and girlfriend, though he must be dating her definitely. And he found her on the Facebook. That's how they met. And she was sitting in the opposite stand and I was waiting here for his interview because the game had ended and I needed to do an interview with him. And she runs across the pitch. You know, normally you're not allowed to do that. And she's a hockey player, by the way. Because of injury, she left the game. She runs across the pitch and she gives him a kiss. And that moment will always be with me because this guy was so embarrassed. I don't think he can ever be embarrassed by a 10-goal margin that India will ever have. But here he was looking around as to how many people watched it, how many took a snap. And then he was happy because nobody had the speed to take a picture. I think that is one moment I'll never forget about Sardar.
Is hockey dying in India? And is Sardar Singh the last of the Sardars?
He's definitely the last of the Sardars. I think there will be an opinion, there would be arguments on whether hockey is dying or not. I believe it is dying because it's too expensive a sport now to play. Sardar can keep playing, Sardar can, you know, create moves on his own, but you need another 5-6 Sardars. You know, what we were in the 60s or the 70s or even in the 84 LA Olympics, probably one of the best teams that has gone.
But they didn't win the Olympics that time.
We were 5th, but it was one of the best teams. I mean, you have Rick Charlesworth, Terry Walsh, they all said that 84 was one of the classical teams you had. But I don't think Sardar can save Indian hockey unless, or like I said, we have to reach the semis of the Rio Olympics. Only then it will get a boost. It will get a little bit of power to again climb up. And if Sardar can do it, he will become an all-time great. He is, in my opinion, he is an all-time great. In opinions of the world coaches, he's probably one of the best. Right. But one best cannot take an entire team to the top. He cannot bring back glory on his own. He needs a team effort there. And I think if they can do it, I think he'll still be great. I mean.